Greetings, Earth Angels, and welcome to Earth Angel Activities, where I will be doing a reading for you. So, before I started this reading, I was picking up heavily on the energy of emotional loss, change, and magic. So, we're going to go ahead and hop right in. Thank you, Most High God. Thank you, Divine Mother and Father. Thank you so much for our angels, our spirit team. Thank you for each other. Thank you so much for the viewer. Thank you for allowing me to be a conduit of your messages for the viewer. And thank you for allowing the viewer to understand in their hearts what messages that you have directly for them. In your name, we thank you so much for growth in our spirit, our soul, and our finances. In your name, we thank you so much for healing of our mind and our bodies. Thank you. So it is. Ashe. Messages for the viewer. What do you want to discuss with the viewer? Thank you. Heartache and loss. I told you guys I was picking up so heavily on the energy of emotional loss. So we start this energy off with heartache and loss and temptation. We've got the Three of Swords with the Devil. And I know that a lot of times while we're on our spiritual journey, we find ourselves in these predicaments where we are not able to follow the crowd. We're not able to go with the crowd. We are pioneers of a path less taken. And it leaves you sometimes to wonder, am I doing this right? Am I on the right path? Am I on my spiritual journey the way the Most High would want me to be? And it leads to this loneliness and this heartache. Even in the midst of a crowd, even when you're out with friends, there's this loneliness because it's this conversation inside of your soul, inside of your being that you so long to have. But it's difficult to have these conversations with people who don't even understand the foundational concepts of what it is that you find interesting. And because of that, it's put you in a lot of solitude. But your solitude is I'm hearing it's for naught. I'm hearing that your solitude is a space where you're able to learn, where you're able to grow. Look, emotional withdrawal and the waiting game. The waiting game, that card comes out frequently whenever I'm looking at a love energy or when I'm looking at an energy of a person that is feeling turmoil and their behavior is a little bit tumultuous and their interactions with people that they love and their family, it can become a little bit tumultuous too. And this energy is stemming from heartache, usually from a romantic relationship that didn't work out. And it's this lingering energy that needs to be moved. And it's almost like spiritual constipation. And it's so difficult to move this energy without moving your body. If you were able to do that a couple of times a day, that could be helpful with breaking up that energy. Because some connection that took place, it ended up leaving you really bewildered and really confused about how you even got there. I'm hearing, how did we get here? I'm hearing, how did we get here? And it's crazy because I'm hearing Deborah Cox singing, how did we how did we get here? But the song is, how did you get here? So it's really giving, like, it seemed like a fairy tale romance, or it seemed like a fairy tale connection, or a best friend connection. Like, I'm safe here. It felt like a safe space. And then it shifted. And it left you feeling really confused about your whole spiritual journey. Obstacles and challenges. And then we've got the 5, and then we've got the 5 from the Devil card. This challenge is to help you to overcome codependency. It's like this need to have other people around, or other people's approval, in order to be happy. But I'm seeing that even though you would have this type of, like, people around you rooting for you, it still was not truly what you were looking for, because what you were looking for was spiritual. What you were looking for was a connection with the Most High God. And even the heartache and the loss through all of that, let's see, what do you want to tell the viewer about this? It's caused you so much confusion thinking about how your spiritual journey has panned out, because everything is spiritual to you. Everything is spiritual to you. So it's almost as if you're looking at things as if it could be a punishment, or you're looking at things as if you're out of alignment. But everything is as it should be. There is room for a brand new beginning, and a beautiful one at that, if you're able to open up your heart and receive it. Look, with suffering and silence, and then the Love card, and then look, trapped in fear. There is a spiritual blockage. There is a blockage in your development at this time spiritually, and it's from pain. I'm hearing angels say that it is very important to take inventory of the thoughts that you think, because there has been so many times where a thought, nothing more than a thought, has kept you in your house, in your apartment. You have driven to stores and just looked at the store and just said, you know what, forget it, and gone back home. There have been times where where people may have wanted you or needed you to show up somewhere, but you didn't. The phone, you're not answering that. There's so much pain and confusion in your mind at this time. But this Ace of Swords is my God card. And I'm hearing it so clear, like, I got you. I got you. And there is freedom. I'm hearing freedom. I'm seeing chains like breaking and turning into light. And you probably don't even believe this reading is for you. That's how you're going to know it's for you. Look, partnerships and alliances. The partnership and alliances with victory and success, the third eye. This means that your angels are with you. The partnerships and alliances always lets me know that your angels are with you. The victory and success is that you are going to see them, and you are going to recognize that they're with you. But this comes through seeing your shadow. Because when you see what's going on in your shadow, all this stuff that you went through, the heartache, the temptation, the emotional loss, and the temptation, it's not even like temptation. It's more so like it's the heartache from standing in your in your loving divinity and having to do it alone, and the heartache of having to do it alone. And it wasn't even that you were heartbroken about having to do it alone, because if you have to do it alone, then you have to do it alone, right? That's not the problem for you. The thing that causes you so much heartache, the things that has made you weep, the thing that has made you weep is the fact that there are people around that could help, that could stand up for what's right, that could do better, but they haven't done it and they won't do it. And it's not that you are sad about standing alone, because you can stand alone. You're fine with that. Being alone doesn't make you uncomfortable. It's the fact that you're looking at the state of the world and the state of mind of your brothers and sisters, and you're just like, come on. Like, when will you wake up? When will you see? When will you do better? When? Right? But I'm seeing that with this shadow energy here, that this self-reflection, it brings so much compassion, because I'm seeing that you're going to look back on earlier versions of yourself, and you're going to look back at moments where you needed forgiveness, where you were wrong, and you're going to give the compassion and empathy that someone else needs from you. And when you do that, I see that it's gonna like break every chain, every stronghold, everything that has been holding you or feeling as if it has been holding you back. It lets go. It releases. And you're able to manifest the love, the life, the understanding that you truly deserve and that you've always desired. This shadow work has to go down to the bone. I'm hearing down to the bone. It has to go deep. It has to go into your childhood. Because I'm seeing that, like, somebody is sitting there, like, not even really thinking about their childhood. Like, when people say inner child, it's almost like you go blank to that. Like, you really don't know how to understand, accept, or receive the advice on healing your inner child, because it's like I'm feeling like there's a confusion around it, or it's just like it doesn't touch you, it doesn't reach you, but it's the message that needs to reach you to heal your inner child. And it's not a complicated process, but it is not an easy process. So when it comes to you healing your inner child and actually getting in touch with your inner child, you're going to have to think about the memories that caused you grief and pain from back then. The life circumstances that may have contributed to a characteristic that is impeding the growth and maturity of your relationships now. For example, if you were the type of child that responded to trauma with some type of response, and that response, it still goes on to this day. So say, for instance, you sucked your thumb, when you were young, and now even as an adult you find yourself sucking your thumb or biting your nails or whatever it is, it could be where you withdraw from people. You really don't have time for people, and it's not even that you are disgusted by people. It's more so that you are overwhelmed and overstimulated by too many people for too long, and I'm hearing that it's that you need to get in touch with. It's the time where you needed support from someone and they laughed at you. It's the time where you wanted to go somewhere with someone and they didn't want you to come. It's the time where you were afraid and you felt like no one understood. It's the time where you were in pain and nobody believed you. It's about those moments. And it's about how they transcribed into your now. How they transcribe into your tolerance level and your intolerance level, and how that could be affecting your spiritual patterns. Your spiritual health is your mental health. That's something that I always tell my clients. Your spiritual health is your mental health. When this shadow work takes place, you're going to go deep. Okay, you're going to go deep, and when you do this shadow work, you're going to have to work with energies that you might not want to work with. And that could be difficult. And depending on those energies that are difficult to forgive, you may need help. And I hear a lot of people talking about forgiveness and stuff and how, it's hard, because it is. But there are just certain things that you have to let go of. Like when I was meditating, the angels were showing me that this energy of forgiveness, because there have been things for me, for myself, where it has been very difficult to forgive. And what they showed me is that it doesn't move in a linear fashion. It moves in a circle, so to speak, because you have like things on a cycle where certain memories or certain thoughts will represent themselves at different times in your life. And when they come up, it's like practice. It's like you're sparring. It's like understanding where you are with that situation, how much power it still has over you, how much power you've taken back, and you watch yourself grow over time. But the initial forgiveness is what starts the process of calling your power back to you. Because as you forgive, when you forgiving is not like, I allow you to run over me. Forgiveness is saying, I recognize that there's a deficit in you. And because I am able to recognize that deficit, I am more responsible for the relationship. Some of you guys have parents that you hold them fully responsible for the state of your relationship. And for a time that may have been true, and, parents, sometimes that's a very touchy topic, so I want to tread lightly, because I do feel myself stepping on someone's wounds as I discuss this parent energy. But I'm hearing the angels say that is one of your blockages, and that it is so important to not just yourself, but to your lineage and to your tribe as a whole, for you to allow this energy to not be so heavy and hard in your soul. So forgiveness is not excusing the behavior of someone else. And by now we should all know this, that forgiveness is not for you, for them, it's for you, right? So forgiveness doesn't mean that you become boo-boo the fool and that you allow somebody walk all over you. That is not it. Forgiveness says that, yes, this thing happened, but I'm not seeking revenge. Like, I have released it to the ethers and I am moving on. And the energy that I have, I'm healing myself with that. I'm not giving it away. I'm not giving it to you. I'm not giving it to anyone but to the wound that has taken place. You know, and that's why sometimes it is okay to let people go. But as you work with these energies, especially when it comes to parents, it is so important to travel back in time and meet your parents as children. And when you do that, it may be difficult at first, but when you reach out to your parents' child self and you do it in your adult self, your nurturing, caring, protective adult self, you'll be able to reach into compassion for a person who has given you so much hurt and pain. Now, this compassion does not mean that you open the door to be somebody's doormat. As I always say, don't be nobody fool. You ain't never got to be nobody fool. Never. Never. If you got to cut off somebody, then you got to cut them off. And that doesn't matter who it is. We're talking heavy names: mama, daddy, sister, brother, husband, wife, son, daughter, mother, father. If they have to go, then they have to go. You get what I'm saying? But we all know that those energies are there whether or not they're there. And so with that energy, can you soften the place within you that holds on to the anger so tightly? Because holding on to that type of vengeance and rage so tightly, it is, I'm hearing the angels say, I'm hearing them say a word I've never even heard of for the body. They're saying it's this made up word, but I'm hearing them say dilapidated. That's what it's doing to the body. Holding on to that anger, it is tied into the inability to forgive. And that anger, I'm seeing it as like a ball of flesh that won't let go. And I'm hearing that if any of you have been dealing with, a health scare, because I did pick up on a health scare on the last reading I posted. If any of you have been picking up on dealing with a health scare, that it could be tied to pure energy, and that when you start working with your energy body, that you will see changes and movement, and that even with you working with your energy body, that it's going to align you with certain people and certain knowledge. And I'm seeing full recovery. That's what I keep hearing. Full recovery, full recovery, full recovery. Somebody is facing their darkest fear right now, and that could be with the health, and it could be with the loss of a loving family member or a loved one, and it's all tied together in ways that you would never understand. It's so many children that need to be gotten in touch with, and I'm seeing your inner child, the inner child of your parent, the inner child of your loved one. It's so much work to do. And sometimes, presenting things to people is better than just telling someone something, because I'm seeing that there's a couple that really needs to pray together. And I'm talking about the type of prayer where you are chest to chest or face to face or hand in hand and or forehead to forehead, and just really focusing on how good God is, how good God has been, just focusing on all the blessings, because there's a situation that really needs turning around. Yes, embrace, like really embrace one another and be thankful and express that gratitude even through this darkest moment, even through this moment that you really didn't want to be in. And see how your togetherness and your prayers together really work as like a magical spell that is about to be cast. Yes, look, joy and stability, daydreaming and decision making, opportunity. This is an opportunity for you that your angels and your spirit team are asking you to do. You know, for all of you earth angels out there listening, this is a call to prayer and to acknowledging who you are and what you are on a soul and spiritual level. The things that you are capable of, the important roles that you play. Earth angels, y'all don't understand how like just simply speaking to someone sometimes can change so much. So much. And some of you actually have people assigned to you at this time, people that you're supposed to be assisting for a long-term goal or for a short-term goal. Somebody you're supposed to just give $1 to, somebody you're supposed to mentor, somebody you're supposed to go to and be mentored. These are connections that are being made. These are loving connections that are being made. These are healing within the self, within the mind, within the soul. A respiriting of the self, a respiriting of the energies. You know, give them a hint towards what it is. Let's see. I'm going to close this reading out. Any last messages for the viewer? Spiritual evolution. What did I tell you? This is an opportunity. Spiritual evolution. Set your heart free. Set your heart free. Like this is this is beautiful. This is like everything that has happened has been beautifully and divinely orchestrated. This has been divinely orchestrated chaos, and it might look so crazy right now. And for those of you who are super triggered about this compassion for those who have hurt you and forgiveness of those that have hurt you, you know, go at your own pace. Get the assistance that you need. Go to a shaman. Go to a therapist. Because some situations are more difficult to wrap your mind around than others. And for some of us, we need help sometimes in that department of being able to change our perspective so that we can have our power back fully, so we can have our energy back in all its glory. Okay? This is your spiritual evolution. This is your moment. All right, Earth Angels. Until next time, we'll talk again soon. Bye.